Back at again with another YouTube video. It's your boy Uriah G. Today we're gonna react to the night N.W.A died. Let's get right into the video.
Oops, sorry to barge in like this.
Alright, we got an ad to start off. That's cool though, because we usually do.
N.W.A, the world's most dangerous group, emotionally died on April 23rd, 1991. That was the day that N.W.A, the group's main producer, invited Eazy-E.
I'll make sure to put the link in the description. The link of the video in my description.
His groupmate and founder of the Cruise record company, Ruthless Records, to the Galaxy recording studio of Solar, an acronym for Sounds of Los Angeles Records. Solar was the domain of Dick Riggey, a concert promoter who had created the company in 1977 from the shares of another company that co-owned with Soul Train founder Don Cornelius. From the late 70s to the mid-80s, Solar scored big with acts such as Shalamar, The Whispers, and Lakeside, standing out with its track record of hits that blurred the lines between disco, funk, R&B, and soul. But as a businessman, Griffey was aware of the changing tide. Rap was gaining momentum, destined to eclipse the genres he had been familiar with for decades. His interests were consequently drawn in that direction, and he eventually settled on a favorable prospective partner, Marion Suge Knight Jr., growing up in the same city of Compton as 4 of the 5 classic N.W.A members, was determined to make something of himself, seeing his father struggle as a laundryman, housekeeper, and truck driver. He once remarked that
Laundryman, truck driver. That's a lot of jobs to handle.
his old man, for all his hard work, barely had enough money to buy himself an extra beer. Well, that wasn't going to be him. He will buy an entire brewery if need be. And initially, that path was going to be professional football. He was a decent defensive end, first at El Camino College, then at University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Although undrafted, Suge made it to the NFL via a contract with the San Francisco 49ers, who are already making their mark in history as the football team of the 80s with 2 Super Bowls so far. But a championship ring was not in the cards for Knight. He was dropped after an altercation that led to being charged with attempted murder and grand theft auto, another shot at the NFL as a replacement player for the Los Angeles Rams during the infamous 1987 player strike, quickly fizzled. So, if football wasn't going to work out for Knight, perhaps a sort of enforcer would. He had the build for it, 6 feet, 2 inches tall, and over 300 pounds. He just needed to build a persona around it. He was already affiliated with the Piru Bloods of Compton, and he often wore red to make sure that was understood.
So he was doing the Bloods, being a security guard, playing football. He was just doing all of that at the same time, or like, I don't know. I'm not even gonna ask. We're just gonna watch this video.
And his soft-spoken nature belied his new career in security, working with clientele that included New Edition alumnus and R&B superstar Bobby Brown. It was a career that enabled him to cross paths with members of the Ruthless Records camp, such as the D.O.C., who, at the time, was under the legal drinking age and certainly needed help getting into clubs. Suge and the D.O.C. especially got close after the latter suffered the devastating car crash that ended his promising rapping career.
Yeah, they showed that in the Straight Outta Compton movie.
Suge set up autograph sessions, among other avenues, to generate money, while the D.O.C. brooded over his desolate future, as well as his naivete as a doe-eyed southern kid from Dallas, selling his publishing royalties to Eazy-E for mere jewelry.
He sold his publishing, what? He sold his publishing royalties to Eazy-E. Important, keep your royalties. Don't sign a deal, keep your royalties.
Suge, already the owner of his own artist management company, has suggested a joint venture away from the Ruthless Records. Funky enough records, named after one of the DOC's hit songs. But the DOC was uncertain about that, and that was what made Suge think of roping in someone of greater influence to make this deal a reality. For a man who had, by the end of 1989, produced tracks on 5 gold and platinum certified albums, Dr. Dre, even with his palatial abode in Calabasas, felt undervalued, both in finances and stature. He thought of himself as a co founder of Ruthless Records. After all, Dre was the first person that Eazy-E brought in as he formed his company in 1987. He was the one who brought in Ice Cube, the premier MC and songwriter of the camp. And yet, when Easy hired Jerry Heller as N.W.A. and the company's manager in 1987, he felt relegated to the status of an employee, making only tens of thousands instead of the millions he should have been raking in. Although upset that Ice Cube left because he refused to let their partnership and friendship override financial concerns, he was beginning to understand why. But first, Dr. Dre was going to exhaust all avenues. To his credit, at least Jerry Heller, conflicts of interest notwithstanding, tried to do something. He attempted to negotiate a sub-label deal between Dre and Warner that would have brought in $2 million as an advance. But Warner's response? Nah, we don't need any problems with the FBI. Then there was Priority Records, Ruthless's distributor, stepping in with a $250,000 deal that consisted of a solo album and back payments. But it wasn't enough. Slowly but surely, Dre began to
I know if I'm signing a deal, I gotta be taking most of the money than what I owe. If I'm owing you, then that means you better be giving me more profit than I owe, or I ain't signing the deal. Simple as that. We gotta come up with a negotiable, reasonable um way to find something to compromise with as far as a deal. But let's continue.
confide in that burly friend of the DOC's, who was now part of Rufus's security detail, and soon had him signed to his management. Suge Knight, now with N.W.A.'s primary producer, as well as one of the group's songwriters, was slowly chipping away at the formidable gangster rap monument. And Knight's job was made easier by the fact that Eazy-E seemed unwilling to concede a scintilla of renegotiation with his franchise player. He had Dre on contract as a producer, rapper, and writer for Ruthless Records. Allegedly, Dre was contractually allowed to work as a producer for anyone. But by 1991, Dre, feeling trapped, simply wanted out of Ruthless entirely, even if it meant by any means necessary. The name Suge was derived from Sugar Bear, a nickname the senior Knight had bestowed upon his son because he thought he was a sweet kid. Well, Suge was no longer a sweet kid. Instead, he was now a cigar chomping, red color clothed record label aspirant who was already building a reputation for thuggery in the music business. Legend has it that he had Vanilla Ice, the Ice Ice Baby hitmaker.
I think I know what he's about to talk about. When he had him hanging over that dang. Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about. I don't know.
Dangling off a hotel balcony by his
Yeah.
ankles to get him to sign over the royalties from the first rap song to be a #1 pop hit to Mario Johnson, one of Knight's clients who had allegedly written some of the song's material. Apparently, the truth is that Suge simply threatened to throw Ice off the balcony, and the issue was resolved in court. But the story burnished his legend, and when Suge examined Dre's contract with a few experts and deemed it extremely unfavorable, that was Dre's cue to rely on it. And so it was that on April 23rd, 1991, Eazy-E answered that page or call from Dre to show up at the Solar Studios that Dick Griffey had provided Suge for what was about to happen. All 5 feet 4 inches of him showed up without a bodyguard to be confronted by 2 or 3 big shouldered guys with Louisville sluggers. And Suge himself, claiming that he had both Heller and Eazy-E's mom in a parked van outside the building, didn't. Suge put down before Easy documents with fax imprints of Sony, the conglomerate that owned Solar, and suggested that he sign the releases of 3 ruthless artists: Dr. Dre, the DOC, and Michelle A, Dre's then girlfriend, with a gold-selling R&B album and 3 top 40 hits of her own. Eazy-E did so, living to fight another day. Then Suge faxed the signed release forms to Sony, declaring that Dre was now available, and requested a little over $100,000 to be sent to Night Life Productions, the company that will come to be known as Death Row Records. It would take a lot more than signing documents under duress to release artists. And contrary to rap lore, it would take up to a year to make Dre's departure official. But the events of that April night were meant to drive the following point home. Dre wants out, and with him gone, N.W.A. is done. But of course, no one outside the aforementioned parties knew that. As far as the public was concerned, a second album was on the way, tentatively slated for November 1990. Only 3 months earlier, they had gobbled up 100 Miles and Runnin', a gold-certified EP that was the first of its kind in rap music history, and which had previewed the upcoming album in its last track. N.W.A. was arguably at the peak of their popularity, identifiable beyond the music with the black-colored sports team gear of the NFL's Los Angeles Raiders and the NHL's Los Angeles Kings to enforce their outlaw aura. And people really wanted to know how N.W.A. could continue the momentum of Straight Outta Compton, not to mention if they can survive the significant loss of a key member in Ice Cube, who had moved on to become a major rap star in his own right. Oh, as for rumors of an impending breakup, well, let's see what Dre has to say about that.
A lot of rumors going around about the group breaking up and everything. That's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening.
Alright, that was the night N.W.A. died. Interesting video, learned some new stuff. Tell me what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I got more videos coming. Stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, and yeah, Uriah out.